How's it going, guys? I'm so glad to see you yet again. It's Sam Kirk for Inside the Hashes. As you know me, King of the Turf, ruling the Madden page, and we are back once again after a horrific Super Bowl loss with our Arizona Cardinals team that just kept battling through their season, and we were just unable to capture that Super Bowl victory. But guess what? Just because the football season's over doesn't mean that we have to stop playing Madden. So we're going to jump right into a New York Jets franchise with Robert Saleh as the head coach, as you guys see on the top screen. And we're going to be trying to rebuild this Jets team and get them back and competing in the AFC East division for next year. And I'm going to show you guys how I love to just go through these off seasons, and it's going to be very realistic, okay? I mean, these free agents that the Jets have to re-sign, they're free agents in real life. The free agency class that's going to be available to me in about a week once I'm going to go through the whole offseason in this video so everyone gets to see what this team looks like heading into this 2021 NFL season. The New York Jets, our second real rebuild of this Madden channel, and hopefully we get some revenge after losing the Super Bowl and getting this Jets team to a position where they can be a sound team. The AFC East is my goal here. And Marcus May is a free agent this season. We're going to re-sign him on a $5.2 million deal. We're going to up his signing bonus a bit, and we're going to offer him a 4-year deal and hope he says, but he says he is just not interested in signing. So that is one guy that we are probably going to have to forget about. We do have a lot of cap space. We have a lot of flexibility where we can roll with this, but we're going to have to try to re-sign Brian Poole right here as well. So Brian Poole, he's an 81 overall. He's 28 out of Florida, decent cornerback in the star development. That's probably the only reason why I'm going to be keeping Brian Poole. And I don't think I have a choice, but we're going to offer him a $5 million contract, but he's also going to test out free agents. God, I mean, that's two guys off the bat. We're definitely going to swing back and potentially tag one of them if it makes sense. But so we re-signed Brashad Perryman. I think that was a $2 million deal. Re-signed him. He's going to be back with the Jets, a 94 speed, and having him at that third, fourth wide receiver spot it's not bad, and something that I want to have on this team just for security in case we have injuries at the receiving position. Jordan Jenkins, a good depth piece at outside linebacker. I'm going to have to try to re-sign him. I'll give him a reasonable offer. I'll give him $4.5 million. We'll up his signing bonus to $1.5. So fair offers were $17.9 million. Nope. He's 74th normal. You would think this would be kind of fair. He's going to test out free agency as well. So we have not gotten any of the main guys that we were planning on offering, and I think we're going to have to circle back and franchise tag Marcus May. If my math is correct, this will probably cost us around $13-14 million to tag him, and it would be way much money to tag Brian Poole. I think his tag would be about $18-19 yet. So he'd be $18.1 million, not the move we're going to make, and instead we're going to sign the better player for $14 million for 1 year to be a part of this Jets Rob Saleh team in his year one, and it's going to be Marcus May. We're going to sign him. We're going to tag him. 1 year, $14 million deal. He will be returning as a New York Jet, and he will be the only New York Jet in this that we're going to be re-signing and bringing back to our team. Not just because we don't want to re-sign the other guys, but because we couldn't. So here we go. This is going to get us into the free agency period, and this is where we have one of the biggest caps in the National Football League and the ability to make some big moves to improve our team right away. So obviously when you look at the Jets, right away, a spot that peeks out to me is Shaquille Griffin. And if we are able to get him, we'll give him an $8.4 million deal. We'll up his signing bonus to $5.5. Contract's going to be worth just a little over $40 million. And that's going to be a decent offer for him. We are on first for Shaquille Griffin at the moment. Time will only tell what happens there. But as we look through the rest of the class here, like Desmond King's 26, and we're basically 7.6 and 8.3 for Shaquille Griffin and Desmond King. I'm going to take Griffin. I am. He's a superstar. That's just how it is. So I'm guessing Rob Gronkowski is going to be overpaid too. We can get him. I'm going to look to sign Rob Gronkowski for $5 million a year. And that still leaves us with 4.46. Chris Herndon's been our tight end for years, and I'm not going to be waiting around for Chris Herndon to get good. That's just not happening. You give Sam Darnold or whoever we bring in at the cornerback position, a guy like Rob Gronkowski, an 84 at the tight end, he's a red zone threat, and he's going to make his presence felt. See, Ashton Davis has a decent chance to be okay, so I don't want to sign Marcus Williams, and I can't do it, but we are going to look at bringing in another receiver and possibly an offensive lineman like Joe Thuney, but I think we're going to bring in Juju Smith-Schuster, if we can get him on an $8.3, $8.4 million deal. So that's going to be first for Juju as well, just ahead of the Lions. I'm sure that isn't a big gap, so we might have to up that in next week if he does not sign. See, Hassan Reddick wants 9.5. That's just not something I'm going to be willing to do. And Alex Mass, 35. I need a center, but I'm not going to pay for him. So what we are going to do, we're going to sign Earl Thomas. He's only 31, but he's going to be better than Ashton Davis. And at the same time, we could play him in multiple spots back there in our secondary. We can. And he's got some veteran experience. That's going to put us first for him. But what I want to do with him, 1 year. 1 year. I am not... I guess the Chargers offered him 2 years. I don't want 2 years, though. I think we're going to have to pull our offer here. We're going to have to pull it. We just withdrew our offer from... right there. I think that's a smart decision. And when you're looking at, you need guys that are kind of in the middle of the ground. Like, I'm going to pay 5 for Gronk. It's just not that much. And having still with 34 left, that's still enough to get 2 solid pieces here. So I'm going to offer Corey Davis now. It's really tempting because he's asking for about as much as Juju. I just don't think I could do it. Mike Davis in this free agency class, Ndamukong Suh. I'm going to give a contract to Trey Hendrickson. He's going to hopefully we're going to give him $5.8 million, the former New Orleans Saint. We're going to give him $6 million on the salary. We're going to up the bonus. I think this is a good deal for Hendrickson. We are just behind Baltimore. I mean, this is going to be a hot free agency pickup right here. He's had a great year last year for the Saints. We would move him probably to left end and just solidify our D-line right there, but I don't know if we're going to be able to get him. Looking elsewhere through this class here, you don't really see much. I think I'm going to end up offering Xavier Rhodes also a contract. He had a good year last year. If we get him on a 1-year deal worth $4 million, I'll be really happy to have him as my second corner for that type of pay. That's another intriguing option here, and I might have to kind of counter it actually. So we're going to end up trying to sign Desmond Trufant for less money. I think it just makes more sense than signing a guy like Xavier Rhodes, who's a little bit older and has normal development. Instead, I could get a star development guy to be our second corner, hopefully to Shaquille Griffin, but we'll keep looking through this class right here. I do need a running back. We're going to have to look through that. Ty Johnson's not going to be my starter. I'm letting you guys know that right now. And I think we might have to sign Gus Bus Edwards. Look, Mac's going to want money. Lindsey's going to want money. Drake's going to want money. Unless they're really just, wow. Yeah, I mean, look, James Conner's on the market for $3.9. We're going to up this down to $3.4. We're going to give him the bonus almost up to $3 and see what the former Pitt Panther thinks of that. See, that's going to be his only offer at least, and that's going to be it for the guys we're going to offer at this moment. I want to see who I can get, and then we'll upload this draft class 2 in stage 2 right here. So this is where all the fun begins, guys. I'm going to import this draft class, and it's going to give us all the players that are going to be coming out this year for the real NFL draft class. And our second pick, it's probably going to be either Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields. And I'm letting you guys know right now, unless we get a sweet trade offer that probably gives me a first, another second, and possibly another third, I think I'm just going to have to stick it to and take a quarterback. And here we go. This is the draft class. Trevor Lawrence leads it, obviously, with Justin Fields, the former Ohio State product. Those two top off the draft class here. Really solid players. Both these guys are going to be superstar talents for my team ultimately. Just going to scout some other guys. I don't really have any interest in Trey Lance or Zach Wilson. Unless I'm at I think we have pick 23 as well. If I'm at 23 and one of these two are on the board, that's a different story. But I love Micah Parsons. Possibly could take him if we ended up trading back. You just have to be prepared for different events here. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, really intriguing prospect out of Notre Dame. He would help our outside linebacking position. J.C. Horn, really great corner out of South Carolina. he would complete our trio at the cornerback position. So I'm just trying to keep my eyes open. And we got Rob Gronkowski. So Rob Gronkowski is going to be a Jet for the 21-21 season. So will James Conner. So will Trey Hendrickson. And so will Shaquille Griffin. We did not get Desmond Trufant or Juju Smith-Schuster, but that's going to be okay for two reasons. Because there's a lot of corners in this draft class. I like Caleb Farley, Patrick Surtain, Sean Wade, list goes on. But we actually might make a little move out to William Jackson, 28-year-old from Houston, 5th year in the league, has star development. Let's make a move on Mr. Jackson here. If we can offer him 7-3, little more bonus, keeps us just around 20 million, 97 points. Really? Man, he must be getting the bank from these other teams. Here we go. We're going to offer him a 4.06 signing bonus and a salary of 7.5. 100 points. Now that brings us to first. It was so close. And now, look, I wanted Corey Davis before this. You guys saw me kind of flirt with offering him, and we're going to offer him a $7.7 million contract with a $4.6 million bonus. Contract's worth $49 million in total. Here we go. Corey Davis, the Western Michigan fellow. We're going to offer him. We're going to be 6 on that list. So we might have to up the signing bonus a bit to 4.84. Not bad. Still keeps us under. See, that brings us to 96 points. Wow. So there's a lot of teams in line for Corey Davis. And I don't think unless we throw 8.5 at him, that's about what we are giving to Juju, so I'm going to be willing to do that. And that's going to bring us to first. I think he is the best receiver on the market, has to be. 26 with star development, that's probably the route to go. We got Gronk, so we don't need a tight end. Becton, I mean, Alzame is interesting. It is. Do I have enough money to sign? No. All right, we're going to just sim one more week after scouting our first round of NFL draft prospects and getting some free agents thus far. We'll sim one more week, see who we got in the second round of free agency, and continue on this offseason. Here we go. Corey Davis rejected us, but William Jackson is going to be a Jet. So that solidifies our cornerback position. Now we have Shaquille Griffin and William Jackson, two really good corners that I think a lot of teams would definitely be thankful to have. James Conner is going to be our running back now. I'm pretty happy with what's been how this has gone so far, but losing out on a receiver, we might need to just sign Marvin Jones here. He's 31. He has star development. He's 6'2". He'll be able to go up and get it, but no one's made a bid for him, which surprises me. AB's 33. I don't really want to sign him. He's older and has a worse development trait. Tyrell Williams is 29, but at the end of the day, we got to have more proven players on our team, like Marvin Jones is just a touchdown maker. I think it just will help this offense tremendously. So we're going to scout a little more. I'm going to definitely look into linebackers now. Xavier Collins, good second-round prospect. Hamilton Rashid Jr., Joe Tyron's not going to be great. Chris Rumpf, the Duke guy, he's not going to be great either. So looks like there's not that much depth at the outside linebacker spot. When you look at this, I'm a big fan of Nick Bolton. I am. Third-round pick. I think he's going to go a lot higher realistically in this year's in the real draft. And I think he'd be a good guy to get in the late second, mid-third. Also, like Chaz Surratt, the guy from Carolina. We don't have enough scouting points to scout him, but I'm going to end up finishing that next week. We're going to sim this, see if we get any more free agents. Marvin Jones is going to be a Jet, so I'll give you guys a quick look. That's 3 weeks simmed of free agency. This is our roster right now. Crowder, Perryman, Jones, Berrios, Denzel Mims, the receiver position. We brought in Rob Gronkowski from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to be our tight end. Offensive line still looks pretty horrific. Besides McGovern and Becton, going to need maybe a guard in the draft class, and I would definitely take a tackle in the mid-round too. When you're looking at this defense, Mosley being injured, he'll be back to start the year, so that'll be fine. We definitely need outside linebacking help, but other than that, maybe a D tackle or a left end, but I think we're in a decent spot. So we're going to scout one more time here, and we're going to really focus on the left outside linebacker. Osai's pretty good. He's supposed to be a first rounder. Jason Oweh's an intriguing prospect. Baron Browning, the Ohio State prospect. So with Oweh and Browning, I think that gives me enough flexibility to kind of have some mid-round guys in my back pocket there at that position. Now I'm going to roll to the left ends. I really like Patrick Jones, Brenton I think his last name's actually Cox, but Madden is a little, afraid that it might mean something else.
Bruh.
With that, that's all our scouting points. I know it's a shame that they don't give you enough scouting points this whole year, but so here we go. We will be starting the NFL draft and on the clock with the second pick. How exciting does this get? This basically is going to show you guys who I'm going to be selecting here. Advance the pick. They take Trevor Lawrence, #1 overall. First thing I'm going to do is review the offers for the picks. If we don't like anything we see, I will be giving Justin Fields a call in about a minute. The Niners are offering me, I need 2 picks in this year's draft. The Colts are offering me 21 and a second. It's not going to cut it. Yeah. I'm not even getting a first-round pick back from Washington in this draft. That's not happening. Minnesota's offering me their 3rd and pick 14. That's not happening. The only good offer is San Fran, really, and I'm not going to take it. We're going to end up taking Justin Fields, I believe. It's really difficult to pass on him at this point. Taking Sewell is really intriguing too. Do we just hope Wilson or Lance are there by 23, or Trask at least? That might be the plan. At the end of the day, I don't know. We should probably give Sam another chance. And taking a guy like Sewell is such a sure thing at the tackle spot. So having tackles like Mekhi Becton and Penei Sewell, it's going to be a different offense. So, you know what? We're going to risk it and take Penei Sewell, the 78 overall tackle. He's ranked 2nd in true value. We drafted him at 2nd. And I told you guys going into this that I was probably going to be taking a quarterback, but my heart broke a little bit when Trevor Lawrence was off the board. And I think I can manage with Sam Darnold. I do. And worst case scenario, we have a player on the board at 23 for us to pick at the quarterback position. So here we are yet again on the clock at pick 23. What will we pause? I'm going to take about 2 seconds to put this draft card in. We're going to take Devonta Smith. I just don't think I had a choice. The 13th overall in this draft, wide receiver, deep threat from Alabama, 75 overall, already with hidden, 91 speed, 91 acceleration. Devonta Smith there at 23. Yes, thank you very much. I will take that. It's like a drive-through fast food line. You just go and you're taking it. Are you kidding? I'm not passing up on that. This team is holes, but we can afford to be taking players if they fall that are so good. Now on the board here, early in the 2nd, Joseph Asai. I brought him up earlier. He might be the pick right now to add some more depth at the outside linebacker position. He's a late first rounder, fell to the 2nd from Texas. Joseph Asai, going to be our 2nd round pick, 73 overall with hidden development. He was ranked 25th in this draft class. We got him at pick 34. So that's all you want. And now we're going to sim to round 3. So with our 3 picks thus far, we have Penei Sewell for Sam Darnold. We have Devonta Smith for Sam Darnold. And then we have an outside pass rusher in Joseph Asai for our defense. And Rob Saleh. I think that's a pretty good plan. So here we are in our 3rd round pick. Looking through some names here. I brought up Nick Bolton earlier. I think he's going to be our guy here. I really like the A+ hit player, the A tackle, and the B pursuit. Nick Bolton, 3rd round pick. 69 overall. That's going to be our first miss of the day. He's ranked 83. We took him at 66, but at the end of the day, a 69 overall, drafting that in the 3rd round, it's just not going to kill me. So I could have done a lot worse, and he's definitely going to play a role on this team in some way, shape, or form. So now we sit in round 3 at pick 23, our 2nd pick of the 3rd round, and looking, and there's a lot of guys off the board, but I think we're going to have to take either Baron Browning or Asante Samuel. Maybe Sage Surratt, but I am thinking that's maybe Darius Stills. We're going to take Darius Stills out of West Virginia to play our other D-tackle spot. I saw we needed that. It's a decent pick. We got a hidden development guy. He's ranked 88. We took him at 87. I'm not going to cry about it, but hidden development, that's what I want. He's going to be one of our starting tackles on this front now that is kind of building a pretty good future. I'm really excited about how many big guys we have up front to just stop this run. So here we are in the 4th round. Couple more picks to be made. Browning still on the clock, but one guy I really like. I can never just not take enough corners in this draft. Asante Samuel Jr. out of Florida State. 86th overall in true value. Took him at 98. He's a 69 overall. He will be a depth piece at corner and a kind of a project, but Asante Samuel Jr. is a very, very highly rated prospect just a year ago, and I think taking him on this Jets team, and now that we have a load full of corners, he'll be able to sit back there and learn from them and hopefully just get better. So now we are sitting in round 5. I did sign James Conner, the former Pittsburgh Steelers, but at the end of the day, we might need to sign another running back, unless I see a center on the board that I really like. Hill's gone from Georgia. I don't really like Lindstrom from Boston College, so I think we're going to end up rolling with a running back. Our guy, I mean, it's tough, but let's take the proven back. Had a nice really run the postseason this year, played well for Ohio State down the line. Trey Sermon, he's going to be our 5th round pick at a 66 overall, a power back from Ohio State. It is fine. I'm not really looking for much to back up James Conner, but a change of pace guy like Sermon that could throw there and he could block on passing downs and still catch the football, and I'm not too upset about it. So here we are yet again in round 5. I'm trying to pick some speed and some potential. That's all I'm really going for. We're looking. We're kind of loaded at receiver now. Not loaded, but we have a lot of depth. So I might just have to take either a tackle or a center. So Ben Petrulis still there. He's not bad, but we just taking a third tackle with 2 guys that we drafted so high and just put so much pressure on. Those 2 are both big men that like to get hurt, and we might need another one, but I think I'm going to have to just take a shot on a center. We're going to take Alec Lindstrom, 61 overall from Boston College. That's going to be a pretty horrific pick. That's not going to work out well, and I think this is our last pick of the draft here in round 6, if I do think so correctly. Draft class has been pretty good so far. No real complaints. Our last pick was probably our worst pick, but once you get past round 4, it gets really tough. It just does. So with our last pick of the draft, we didn't take it. We'll look at all the guys we drafted again, but Penei Sewell, Devontae Smith, Joseph Asai. If any team were to get those 3 guys in the 1st and 2nd round, their picks, I'm pretty sure they'd be extremely happy. Nick Bolton, I really like him. I think he'd be okay. Darius Stills. So those are 5 guys I like, okay? Asante Samuel, too, at the same time. Very good player. He's a scheme fit. I think he'll be very good here. And other than Sermon and Lindstrom, even Sermon, he'll be decent. But the rest of the picks worked out pretty well, and I'm really happy with how they came out. So we're going to have one more pick just to kind of wrap this thing up. I think we're going to end up taking quarterback. If I saw Kellen Mond was still on the board, I think we're going to take Kellen Mond from Texas A&M, 59 overall scrambler. Had a great day at the Senior Bowl. We just kind of took him for fun here to finish out our draft, but hopefully he becomes our franchise backup. But we have no picks remaining. I'm going to sim to the end of the draft. We're going to get a quick look at our draftees and then a little bit at our roster, and I think we'll be ready to rock. So when you look at the draft, we had a pretty nice draft. I think we really did. And Penei Sewell, obviously he's going to be across from Mekhi Becton. Those 2 guys, I don't have to make any moves at tackle for 5 years. So that's what you want. Devonta Smith, he's probably going to be end up being our number 1 wide receiver by the end of the season. Joseph Asai is going to end up having a big role in this defense. I think so. And we don't have many huge pass rushers at the linebacking position, so he's going to end up playing on a lot of 3rd downs. Nick Bolton, run-stopping guy, just a middle linebacker to help create some more competition for guys like Cashman, and I think just having depth really important. Darius Stills, a hidden development guy at the defensive tackle position, a little bit of a project, but he's going to be one of our starters, and I think an 88 strength, and I think just this guy will be able to progress a little, not as fast as some of the other guys, but he'll be a mid-75, 76 guy if we can train him right and he learns well under the Rob Saleh defense here. But as you guys see, that rounds out the draft class. Kellen Mond, Lindstrom, and Sermon, that's the last 3 picks, kind of but that's going to be our offseason and our draft. We'll take one more look at our roster, but that's going to wrap it up for my first video of our 2nd franchise after our Cardinal franchise. Obviously, we get Sewell, Sam Darnold. I think it looks a lot better around him. I really do. Some of the Jets fans at Inside the Hash will have to let me know what they think, but I think we did a pretty darn good job. Defensive line, there's just so much potential there, and it really makes me excited there's not one guy with normal development that starts on our defensive front, and I think that's a huge advantage to have. We'll obviously have C.J. Mosley back, and probably at the right outside linebacker position, it's going to be a little bit of a struggle, but we'll figure it out. And I definitely think adding guys like Shaquille Griffin and William Jackson on the outside is really going to change this team. So I hope you guys liked my first video, my offseason with the New York Jets and Rob Saleh's team. And please come back, watch this again. We will be grinding out in yet another season with the New York Jets. So hope you guys are excited as I am. This is King of the Turf, Sam Kirk, signing off for Inside the Hashes. Guys, pay attention to our content on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Keep up to date. I want to see more likes on my videos. Whatever you guys can do for us, that'd be great. Can't wait to keep rolling with this Jets team. I'll see you guys later.